No prizes for spotting who's missing in these pictures of mainly Muslim Labour Party gatherings. In this recent tweet from a local Birmingham MP, he writes, "Great to be with so many Labour friends, not a woman visible amongst them." If Muslim women aren't in the picture, is it a coincidence? Or is there something more troubling going on?
People were just turning up at my family home and trying to intimidate my mum.
Because I didn't have my father's consent and support, I had to step down.
Labour officials must be allowing this to happen. This is not happening in a vacuum.
In parts of the UK with large Muslim populations, where voting Labour's traditionally been a given, locals often choose Muslim men to represent them. But there's mounting evidence of Muslim women being denied the chance to face the electorate, their route into politics blocked by Labour men from their own communities. And the women are fighting back. Newsnight's seen a letter that's just gone to the Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn from Muslim Women's Network UK, demanding an inquiry into what it calls systematic misogyny in the selection process of Muslim Labour councillors.
These men have a cultural mindset. They all come from places like India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. They operate this baradari male kinship system. They don't like women being empowered. Why? Because then we are going to then challenge the status quo. We are then going to challenge the misogyny. We're going to challenge the fact that our rights are being undermined in our communities.
I would have really enjoyed being a councillor here and bringing new people into the party.
Fawzia Parveen is one of around a dozen women Newsnight has spoken to with claims of sabotage as they tried to become Labour councillors. This Labour activist, who grew up in Birmingham, told me the local party's male Muslim members told her a woman would never be elected here.
At the time, I was aware of a smear campaign against me, saying that I was having an affair with one of these existing councillors, who is still a councillor in the local area. So I was quite upset about that. I was quite taken aback that people would actually, there's no evidence of any type of affair, but they would actually stoop that low. People were just turning up at my family home and trying to intimidate my mum.
Saying what?
That, just stop your daughter from, kind of pursuing becoming a councillor in the local area.
Do you know who those people were?
It would be members of the Labour Party. I didn't see them myself, but my mum did say that it's members of the local Labour Party that were coming to the door.
Muslim members?
Yeah, Muslim men.
Newsnight's spoken to other Muslim women who claim to have been blocked as councillors. One said, like Fawzia, "They spread this slander about me being a slut. It's the way they get to you." Another says she was told Islam and feminism aren't compatible. An advocate for gay rights was told, "This is un-Islamic, leave that for white people." And many talk of being criticised for being too westernised and behaving like a Gohir, a white woman. The Muslim Women's Network UK accuses the National Labour Party of being complicit.
Muslim women are telling us that actually we have been complaining, we have been raising this as an issue, but we just don't get listened to, and they've given examples of where they've tried to circumvent local councillors and kind of sidestep them and try to kind of go to, I suppose, more senior politicians, and they say we don't get listened to, no one comes back to us. But obviously they're quite scared to come out with their emails because of the backlash that they might face.
Hello. Auntie, do you live in the local ward? Where do you live?
These kind of allegations are very hard to prove. It's often one person's word against another. Shazia Bashir is an advocate for local women's rights in her hometown of Peterborough. A Labour Party member for years, she was the party's first choice to stand for a particular council seat back in 2007. She claims when her father refused to allow it, the local Labour branch respected his wishes.
I don't think it's got to do with religion, because our religion empowers women and it gives them their rights. It's the culture. Because I didn't have my father's consent and support, I had to step down. I was pressured into stepping down.
And how old were you?
I was 31, married with 2 children.
We've spoken to senior Muslim men within Peterborough Labour who say Shazia decided to step down of her own accord due to family, not Labour pressure. She's now standing for the Conservatives, claiming that's the only way she can represent women in her area. All political parties want to get more women and minority candidates into politics, and Labour has a better record than others. In 2007, it introduced positive action, including some all-women shortlists, to get more women into local government. But this sitting councillor in Leicester told me there are ways, in some parts of the city with high Muslim populations, that her local party deliberately gets round the national party's guidance to select women.
They would say there weren't adequate candidates among the women.
Do you think that's true?
No, that's not true. There were brilliant women on the panel.
How do you know?
I've met them and have had discussions with them. They were brilliant.
And what did they say to you about what happened?
They were barred.
By
the membership.
Of course, Muslim women are getting through. Here on Birmingham Council, of the 20 or so Muslim Labour councillors, 3 are women. On the face of it, the party's made real progress.
We've come on leaps and bounds here in Birmingham since 2011. It's nowhere near perfect. Representative chambers need to look like the communities that they serve.
And how difficult has it been to persuade the membership in those mainly Muslim areas or highly Muslim areas to agree with you when it comes to women and Muslim women?
I wouldn't say we had 100% agreement. I think there are still some issues, but by and large, in particular the leadership, when I say leadership, the elected members in those wards at present have been very supportive.
But last year, it didn't look as if integration was going that well in Birmingham when this picture was tweeted by a Labour MEP showing men and women apparently segregated at a general election rally. We found an online poster for another rally the year before. On both occasions, what's described as a women's section was organised by local councillor Mariam. It's the first time she's spoken publicly about it.
It was not forced segregation. Nobody said women need to sit in one place and men need to sit in another place. It would be inappropriate for anybody to do that.
But you'd already said there's a women's section.
There was the poster itself said that women. I think it said something like along the lines of Councillor Mariam Khan is inviting women to attend, or
no, it didn't. It said Councillor Mariam Khan is arranging a women's section.
Yeah,
he's organising a women's section at the Jalsa.
And the reason why was, like I said, to try to encourage women to attend and not to say that they were to sit separately. I mean, if it was going to be segregated, I myself would not be sitting on a platform with men. There wouldn't be women sort of speaking and sort of being actively involved in sort of doing speeches and even sort of organising.
So you're saying on the poster it's saying you're organising a women's section does not mean you're organising a section where women can sit?
It does not mean we're organising a section for women only alone to sit away from men.
Although that's what happened.
Because that's how women chose to sit.
Labour councillors here told me that's the start of political engagement. But only when more Muslim women are councillors will their female constituents get the representation they truly deserve.